Good morning, YouTube. How's everyone doing? This is Lisa Lewis, aka Double L, and I would like to say this morning that, it being the second anniversary of this kenneka event, I was just wondering if there was anything positive that came out of this case. For one, I don't know if it was a psyop, if it wasn't a psyop, if it was a movie, a not movie, a fraudulent, experiment. I don't know what it was, but it said that people lost their lives during the days of the 6th of September up to the 12th of September. I'm not sure, but if I myself do believe that people lost their lives. If it was exactly the way it was portrayed to be, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I have my own ideas about it, but those are my ideas and I'm going to keep them to myself. But one thing I do know is that I believe that this thing was put into place by the real ops, not the people who are being called ops, but the real ops, the real higher ups. I believe that whole event was put into place to show that we, as a people, we minorities, don't know how to get along, and that we need to be controlled and contained. And what did we show the higher ups, the ops? What did we show them? We showed them exactly what they wanted to see. They showed people going after each other. We couldn't all come together as one peaceful group. We all had to go against each other's ideas, each other's thoughts, each other's... Sorry, I had a phone call, y'all. Had to get rid of the phone call. Okay, so had to go against each other's ideas and thoughts and, stabbing each other in the back, calling each other, all kinds of words and names, and it was ridiculous, and it became more and more ridiculous as the days went on. And what's so sad about the whole thing is that the people who were at each other's throats back then are still at each other's throats today. The only difference is nobody's mentioning kenneka anymore. There's a few people out there who are still working the case, and thank God for them. Because I believe that one day, if the whole thing is in fact real, then she will get her justice. And if not real, then it'll be exposed as being not real. That it is exactly what I'm saying. The higher ups wanted us to show our asses, so to speak, and we did exactly that. And so now, they have every right to take away the freedoms that we have on YouTube, as far as being able to express our opinions and say whatever it is we feel, because, as American citizens, we do have the right to speech, to say what's on our minds. But after the way that everyone behaved during this kenneka event, they're looking at us like, well, no, they don't. They need to be contained. They look at how they react and look at how they act towards each other. We need to put some guidelines and rules up for them, which is what? People taking away our right to speak. Let's wake up, people. Sometimes you have to read between the lines. Sometimes you have to jump outside the box and look in from the outside to get the whole picture. So at this time, I would like to just have a moment of silence for the people who lost their lives. And until proven that they didn't, then I'm going to go ahead and observe that they did lose their lives. So I would like to take a moment of silence, not only for the people who I know, who I was told passed away during this event, but I would like to have a moment of silence for all the people who were hurt during this event. People who their children got talked about, their parents got talked about, their families, their dogs, their loved ones, I want to have a moment of silence for the people who got stabbed in the back, friends turned against friends, let's just have a moment of silence for the deceased and also for the people who were hurt by this whole event. And so I will name the people that I remember, and then we'll have a moment of silence, if you don't mind. Thank you. Kenneka Jenkins, Zach TV, T Streets, Eugenia, J Money. I know I'm missing somebody. I have a feeling I'm missing a few people. And for all of those, Antonia Evans, Geneva Knox, what's the little girl's name? Okay, Kendra, Justine Baker, for all the people who were said to have passed away during this event, and the people who were hurt by it, let's take a moment of silence, please. Okay, so now the reason I came on today was, well, first of all, I have a challenge. I would like to challenge everyone, all the channel holders who were involved in the Kenneka event, I challenge you to get up on your channel and name one thing positive that came from this whole Kenneka event. And I'll start by saying the one positive thing that came about for me was I met two beautiful, wonderful ladies, and we became great friends. And that's Liz Lyons and Alice Green. Now, I met some other people along the way as well, and I'm sure they're good people as well. A lot of people have still yet to learn how to be friends and how to accept friends, and know that everyone in the world isn't out to stab them in the back. Everyone in the world isn't out to get something from them. And, it's a shame that the people that I met, that our friendships didn't last, didn't last for very long. But, some people are just not meant to be friendly and friends. And, what's said is people come into your life for a lifetime. How does that thing go? A lifetime, or so, I don't know. Anyway, y'all know what I'm saying. People come and go. And but fortunately, the one good positive thing that came out of this whole Kenneka event for me was that I have two great friends, Liz, Alice. You know how I feel about y'all. And so for me, that is the positive thing. So I challenge the rest of YouTube, the rest of the Kenneka community, to get on and say one positive thing that came about from that whole event. So, but now I'm going to tell you a little story, and then I'm going to shut it down. But I'm going to tell you a story about this lady. And she was a sweet lady, never did anything to anyone. And she had a beautiful house and a beautiful garden. And so she went out to her garden one day, and she was doing her work in the garden, admiring the fruits and the vegetables and everything that was, growing from God's beautiful earth. And she comes across a snake, and the snake, was dehydrated, and the snake was sad, and the snake had been dejected because of its behavior. And it had alienated everyone that came across her. And the snake was like, "Can you help me? Can you help me, please? I just need one friend in this whole world." And so, the lady was a little skeptical, but she said, okay. And she saw that the snake was in dire needs, and, was just distraught and taking its last breaths of life. And so the lady picked up the snake and took her into the home and gave her a bath and fed her and put her to bed and nurtured her and loved her and gave her everything she needed. And this went on for weeks, for a couple months. And then, so the lady was like, "Come on, Snake, let's go on out into the garden and let's admire the fruits of our hard work." And and the snake went alongside the lady, and they were talking and chit-chatting and having a great time and looking at the garden and looking past the garden, watching the world pass by, and they were just happy, and everything was great. And the lady reached down and said, "Come on, Snake, let's go on back into the house." And when the lady reached down, the snake jumped up and bit her. The lady jumped back, and she was like, "Oh my gosh," with the tears in her eyes. The lady says, "Oh my goodness, Snake, I would never ever have thought that you would bite me. Why, Snake? Why did you bite me?" And as the snake slithered on about its business, it turned back and said, "Did you forget I'm still a snake?" And so that's my story for today, ladies and gentlemen. But please, if anything positive did come from the Kenneka event, please get on your channel and express that. And thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for listening.